Magandang umaga po mga kaibigan. Sa Wednesday Roundtable at Lido, pag-uusapan natin ang industriya ng pagmimina. Alam po naman ninyo, mahalaga rin ito sa ating lipunan, mahalaga rin sa ating kalakalan. And today, maganda po ang ating lineup ng mga resource persons. They come from all over. We're joined by the Undersecretary for Enforcement, Mining and Muslim Affairs, si Undersecretary Jim Sampulna. We're also joined by Attorney Ronald Residoro, Executive Director of the Chamber of Mines of the Philippines. Si Sister Rosan Malilin, Pangulo po naman ng St. Paul University sa Surigao. Si Engineer Luis Sarmiento, Pangulo, Corporate Secretary ng PIMSEA at Pangulo at CEO ng Apex Mining Company. Si Dr. Gabriel Pamintuan, former executive ng PNOC Exploration Corporation. Si Mines and Geosciences Director. Kasama po natin si Director Wilfredo Moncano. Si Ginoong Joey Aison, Pangulo ng Philippine Mining and Exploration Association. At si Mrs. Scarlett Gwen Facsoy, Ambassadress ng Yaman, Philippines. Marami po ang mapapag-usapan ngayon sapagkat alam naman natin na itong industriyang ito ay bukod sa nagdudulot ng biyaya, may kontrobersya din. So we'd like to get a bird's eye view of the industry from Undersecretary Jim Sampulna. Mr. Undersecretary, how is the mining industry today?
Well, we are prospering and with some problem actually dahil marami tayong na-encounter na problema along the way. I would like to by the way, I would like to thank this group for coming out with this kind of roundtable discussion. And gusto ko rin ipaalam sa inyo na ang ating mining industry is our last card as far as economy is concerned. Yan na ito din ang pinakapag-asa natin kasi ang ating agrikultura na nakikita natin lahat left and right, tinatamaan tayo ng problema sa agriculture. Itong mining industry, as we term it, we are pauper sitting on a chair of gold. We are not poor actually. The Philippines is not poor. Pero yun lang, kay marami masyadong matatalino dito sa atin sa Pilipinas, instead na magtulungan tayo na paano natin paundarin ang ating industriya, ay lalo pa natin dinidiin ang industriya. Sana naman ay isipin natin na ito ay hindi para sa DNR, hindi ito para sa mga korporasyon, kundi ito ay para sa ating mahal na Pilipinas. Pero again, we are advocating responsible mining. Good.
Thank you very much. Opening statement pa lamang yan mga kaibigan. Si Attorney Ronnie Residoro, mula po naman sa Chamber of Mines. How is the Chamber of Mines? Yung activity ninyo noong Setyembre hindi natuloy. Paano ngayon? What will you be doing? Teka, nakamute ka pa yata. Sandali po. All right.
Yes. Ayan.
Yeah, good.
Sorry, nakamute pala ako. Tama ka, Camelo. Hindi natuloy yung annual conference namin nitong Setyembre, no? But and that will impact on future projects moving forward. But otherwise, the mining industry remains to be in a good position, no? Kasi if you look at the events that unfolded after March, makita natin that the mining industry responded well to this pandemic outbreak. Makita natin lahat ng mina, halos walang incidents of COVID within their communities. At malaki rin ang naitulong ng mga mining companies sa kanilang host communities in terms of assistance sa medicine, personal protective equipment, at yung tulong sa pagkain also, no? So I think si Director will have a lot to say about that dahil inisyatibo ng MGB yun, no? But yun nga, ang sa akin is parang of all the sectors in the economy, mining has proven to be rather pandemic resistant dahil ang mga mining companies are self-contained eh. Kaya naming mag-close off at mag-survive, and which is what we've shown in the last 6 months. In fact, if we look at the figures, parang maliit ang naging epekto ng pandemic sa production at sa exports.
Okay. Para sa mga kabubukas pa lamang ng kanilang Facebook at nanonood sa atin, can you give us a bird's eye view of how many people, how many Filipinos depend on the mining industry? Attorney Residoro, gaano karaming mga Pilipino ang umaasa sa industriya ng pagmimina?
Well, if you look at the MGB figures, it says here ang employment in the mining and quarrying sector is at 184,000. But that's only yung mga direct. If we look at the indirect and the induced employment generated by mining, times 4 mo yan easily, no? I think there are experts here, si Dr. Pamintuan, who can give us better figures on that. But yun nga, unique ang mining industry in the sense na we don't operate in urban areas eh. We operate in the remotest areas and we provide employment, training, at saka capacity building for people that really need it. So we are uniquely situated talaga ang mining industry in terms of impact.
Very good. Maganda yan. Pero si Director Moncano, Director, nabanggit kasi ni Ron Residoro na you instituted some measures para makatugon doon sa problema ng COVID. Ano itong mga programang ito?
Well, good morning. Thank you, Melo. No? For the response to the COVID pandemic, the MGB issued a circular, memorandum circular on the minimum health protocols that were to be followed by the mining companies while continuing with their mining operations. So meron tayong inisyo, and itong mga protocol, minimum health protocols naman conform with the IATF, Interagency Task Force na mga guidelines. So actually dynamic ito because every meeting yata, almost every meeting ng IATF merong konting changes doon sa mga guidelines. So dynamic din itong aming mga inisyu na circular. And at the same time, during the kasagsagan, nung kasagsagan talaga ng COVID, we thought that it's prudent and it's wise na yung SDMP funds namin, mining companies has Social Development and Management Program funds para ito sa host and neighboring communities. Pero dahil nga sa COVID, we thought na it was wise to realign these funds para itulong sa mga communities instead na gamitin para IEC, para sa information dissemination and other programs. Nag-issue tayo ng guidelines na ma-realign ito at itong mining companies in totality contributed a total of, as far as my recollection is correct, so about 364 million pesos respectively in total. In terms of food packs doon sa mga communities affected, in terms of mga sanitizers, in terms of mga PPEs, in terms of support doon sa mga local sa medical practitioners. No, so naibigay ito ng mga mining companies doon sa kanilang mga host and neighboring communities. At meron din tayong mga laboratory, tawag ito? Medical laboratory na nagtulong doon para mag-test ng mga COVID cases. No? So meron tayong mga naitulong na ito doon sa pandemic, and continuing naman ito, continuing ito. And right now we're thinking of the DIN Secretary together with the Secretary of Department of Finance is thinking of pushing for the industry to help in the economic recovery ng country, because alam naman natin na nangungutang ng ating bansa ngayon, nangungutang para doon sa support doon sa mga naapektuhang mga bayan, at lalo na ngayon na bibili ng vaccine para para ma-cure yung ating or para magiging resistant yung ating mga residente. So mangungutang ulit tayo. So yung ating bansa mangungutang. So we thought the Secretary Department of Finance would push for the mining industries aggressively para makatulong doon sa recovery ng ating economy.
Yeah, Director, let me ask you this very briefly. Kung yun ang layunin, magkaroon ng additional funds ang gobyerno para makatugon sa COVID-19, abay, bubuwisan ulit natin yung mga lehitimong minahan. Hindi kaya it's about time for us to focus on the small-scale mining na hindi naman small at mukhang mas malaki kita. Let's start with the good Undersecretary, Jim Sapulna. Yusek, have you considered that? Yes, please. Naka-mute po kayo. Sandali po. Yeah.
Maraming salamat po, Melo. Actually, the Department of Environment and Natural Resources at saka Department of Finance has requested Congress. So ang Congress naman ngayon ay kasi di natin pwedeng palitan yung na nasabi doon sa batas ng pagmimina. Kundi papalitan natin, mag-amin tayo through batas na lang uli. So House Bill 6135 ang nakasala ngayon doon sa Kongreso. Hopefully the president will certify that as an emergency bill, an urgent or emergency bill, para ito ay ma-fast track itong House bill na ito, increasing yung sasabi nating taxation ng ating mga mina. Ito ay nung ginawa ito ay nagkaroon tayo ng mga pagpupulong sa mga ating mga minero at hindi naman po sila hindi naman sila nagreklamo. Ibig sabihin, they are supporting this. Hindi naman itong malaking natin ang ating ginawa. So sana ay ma-fast track ito ng ating Kongreso. Maayo naman, malalaki naman ang ating mga ng kita ng gobyerno.
Okay. Bago babalikan natin po 'yan, ano? Yung pusong minero ng PIMSEA, how far have you gone, Engineer Luis Sarmiento? Ano na po ang inyong activities? It's been said na yung pusong minero is always everywhere pag mayroong trahedya.
Good morning po, Carmelo, and good morning sa ating lahat. Nung pong, pusong minero po continues to be where the assistance is most needed. So, yung huli po is in Mayon Volcano in last year, no? And ngayon we're trying to organize the water purifier that we have para naman sa Albay in coordination with Bocal Rolly Rosal to identify where to put it. So, yun po yung immediate response ng pusong minero. But as far as the pandemic is concerned, alam nyo po, all the mining companies had to revisit their own operating models after surviving the first pandemic, the first wave of the pandemic. And in a way, this also help us to strengthen yung ating pong safety and health protocols. And this also highlighted the importance of the mining companies' SDMP programs that we can respond immediately to the community. So through the pusong minero of each mining companies po, we were able to deploy yung ating pong mga medical teams, not only within the bounds of our mining operations, but also beyond the operating sites sa communities, putting up of isolation facilities, helping in the testing, and also most especially dun sa ayuda dun sa ating pong mga workers na hindi na po inabutan ng suporta galing from DOLE because of the difficulty of and the limited funding that they have. So tuloy-tuloy po yun. Yung pong pusong minero is already ingrained in all these mining companies. So automatic na po yun.
Okay. So at least nararamdaman yung ating mga kaibigan sa mining industry na umiikot sa mga lugar na kailangan sila, right?
Totoo po yun.
Good. Magpapatuloy naman siguro yan. Pero let me ask the President of the Philippine Mining and Exploration Association, si Joey Aison. Joey, good morning and welcome aboard. Meron pa ba kayong mga exploration na nagaganap ngayon?
Okay, good morning, Melo.
Yes, please.
Good morning, everybody, and to your listeners. Yes, in fact, there are a number of exploration companies going and people revisiting their prospects. We have a number of foreign companies looking into the Philippines right now. We believe that most mining companies have weathered the storm of COVID because, let's face it, no, they are in remote areas. They can contain themselves, as what President Ron Residoro said, Director of the Chamber of Mines, and this provide employment to the countryside. So we're in a position to help the Balik probinsya of this government. And secondly, the metal prices have gone up, and so what most companies are doing now are revisiting their strategies in the light of COVID and how they can have a more positive impact to the host communities. And it's also a time for us to showcase that we can walk the talk, that we say that we are environmentally compliant. So it's now the time to show that we are able to deliver that, since we would be one of the industries that will really help provide revenues for this government in fighting COVID-19.
Yeah. Joey, pag binanggit kasi na Philippine Mining and Exploration Association, yung mga exploration ninyo limitado sa pagmimina o pati na yung petroleum natin?
Most of our companies are in the mineral exploration industry. Most of our members, we started as an exploration group, but a lot of our members have graduated to mining, so naging Philippine Mining and Exploration Association. And even the local companies, we know that most mining is really capital intensive, so we need foreign investments. So that's where we need foreign investments to help move the economy and start new mines. And they're looking at a lot of areas, and they know that the government is very supportive. I think they just are also waiting for some policy changes to further attract foreign investments.
Joey, kung hindi naman confidential, how much does it cost for a company? Let's say I have a company na gusto kong malaman kung meron diyang laman sa ilalim ng lupa. How much will it cost me to find out?
Well, for starters, the law requires that you have capitalization should be at least 100 million pesos. So yun na kagad yung yung basic, yung baseline mo na you should have a market capitalization of 100 million pesos. But that could go easily. In an exploration stage, you can spend 4 or 5 times that, no, before you even find something. And if you have an exploration play, 1 in 100 to become a mine, you're very, very lucky. So that's our batting average. So it's really capital intensive and requires a lot of technical and financial competence on the mining companies.
Do we have the people to do that?
The Philippines is very blessed with the technical capability. In fact, a lot of our mining engineers, geologists, and metallurgists are all over the world running and exploration and mining companies. So the Philippines is one of the countries with a high number of qualified technical personnel. And in fact, we are even improving our technical capability by updating our Philippine Mineral Reporting Code. It's a 2007 version. We're now upgrading to 2020 version, so that the technical competence of our technical guys are upgraded, and as well as the finance people, the admin come into the picture, so that it's a combined approach, so that everybody is well versed and informed of the mining industry.
Okay. Dr. Gabby Pamintuan Jr., welcome aboard. Can you tell us yung kakayahan ng Pilipino to go into exploration? You were also with the exploration team sa Malampaya, I recall. Good morning and welcome.
Yeah, good morning, Melo. Good morning, everybody. Pati sa mga listeners natin or viewers. Petroleum engineer din ako, mining engineer din ako. So, actually, in terms of technology for exploration, ando na, for example, the Malampaya project itself is a world-class project. Andyan si Chevron, andyan si Shell. So similarly sa mining, ganun din. Because a lot of foreign companies want to invest. Siyempre, they'll come in using the most modern exploration techniques, technology, and so on. So, hindi rin sinasabi na yung mga dito sa Philippines na nag-ooperate or nag-explore, yun din yung gamit natin eh. So, nasa front, I mean, in terms of standards, nasa world class tayo. So, hindi tayo naiiwan. But, again, importante na we also welcome yung mga foreigners kasi yung sabi nga ni Joey kanina, they have the technical and financial capabilities. But we're not saying that marami na rin Pilipino ang nag-i-invest sa mining. In fact, the mines that prospered yan. Pero we should still welcome yung mga foreign investors because we know that they come in with their experience and they're also willing to risk doon sa, kasi very risky ang mining sa petroleum eh. So, pag hindi tayo makapag-risk, we will need foreign investment.
Okay.
Because sila, mas marami silang pera, marami silang projects all over the world. So, pwede nilang dalhin as parang part of their portfolio. So,
Okay.
and alam nila na very rich ang Philippines, especially sa mineral.
All right. Pero mahalaga na meron tayong mga napapagsanayan ng mga estudyante. Si Sister Rosan Malilin is joining us from overseas. Nasa Surigao kasi siya. Sister Rosan, how is your school? Marami pa bang mga interesadong maging geologist? Paki-unmute po muna yan. Sandali po. Good. One more time. Oops.
Okay.
Yan.
Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Melo. Nice to be back again here.
Of course.
Hindi mo ako nakakalimutan ha, pag mining pinag-uusapan. We are actually joined by I invited our Dean of Engineering there, who's in charge of the mining. Mining engineering is one of the programs under the engineering program. Yes, Melo, we still have a lot of students enrolled. We have contributed over the last 4-5 years already more than 100 licensed mining engineers from the university. Malaki ang interest ng mga bata kasi it's an local industry here.
Okay.
And mining companies, initially most of them are scholars and they really see them through up to licensure. So I would say there is still a very high interest because of employability, and maybe not just employability, but the what we keep indoctrinating them into is being a Polinian mining engineer carries with it the whole responsibility of stewardship. At yun ang talagang lagi namin inaano na we have a mission to really kind of introduce the values of stewardship in the industry. And that I know we have really enjoyed a lot of very good relationship with our mining companies here. They are very open to our days. And I must say, Melo, I've been here almost 10 years. This is my 10th year. From the time I came when I saw all that red mud from the long red mountain, I see less and less of that now because I see more green than red now. They have been greening the mountains. The brown mountains, the red mountains have turned green, at least yung mga mined out areas na. So I see, kasi nickel ito. I've not been very much into the gold industry. Alam ko, we have them here. You name it, Surigao has it. Yan ang yaman ng Surigao. Mabato talaga kami. We're not very agricultural. That is why I cannot encourage my students to go into agriculture very much because the livelihood is in mining. So we might just as well make use of the gifts that God has given for our people here, but do it responsibly as responsible stewards of His gifts for us. So
Yeah.
as you say, marami pa rin interesado, Melo,
Okay.
sa ano.
Mr. Rosan, you were once with NASA CBCP.
Yes,
Iba ang pananaw tungkol sa pagmimina.
yes.
Coming from your position, meron ba talagang responsible mining? Is there such a thing as responsible mining?
I have seen this develop, Melo. Uh, I know where I was coming from when I first came here. In fact, I came with a very negative attitude. Namana ko lang itong kurso na ito when I first came, kapapasok pa lang, kabubukas pa lang ng kurso. In fact, I was the first one who had to implement it now because my predecessor had the permit and there were a few students enrolled already. I had no choice but to let it go. But at that time, I was ready to close it na. I didn't even want to start it. Except that I had a very, very good dialogue with the mining industry. The Philippine Chamber of Mining came in, and we had a very good dialogue at that time. I just listened to them. I was very, very skeptic at that time that there is such a thing as responsible mining. But Melo, I must say, having lived here over this long time, I see that for whatever God gives us, if we responsibly use it, hindi lang mining eh. We can abuse other gifts also. Kaya kung minsan, we just have to look at it from the point of view of responsible use of whatever God gives us. And I see this, if mining is really done with the same conscientiousness that I have seen over the years, nakita ko yung difference noon sa ngayon in terms of the practices, the and yung ano din, yung siguro yung mga estudyante din namin na indoctrinate na namin na nandoon na sa field, they come every now and then. And they really tell me, sister, hindi namin nakakalimutan yun na ano talaga. Kasi sabi ko, who will love the Philippines more than you? You have to take care of our gifts. Number one, I've come to accept that this is an irreversible industry. Hindi mo talaga maibalik yung natanggal na. Like the nickel na natanggal na. Maybe it will take how many more years before that can again. No, pero while it is irreversible, we can make the most benefits out of what we get from it now. Not only in terms of jobs, but in terms of even greening the whole atmosphere and changing the whole environmental scenario. Na I keep telling myself, when I was going through that red mountain years ago in the beginning, they just remained red. If we did not touch it at all, and we just simply said no to mining completely, that mountain would still be red up to now and brown. Now I see the transformation where it is green. It's really forested green now. So I see na meron din palang pinag-develop noon na kabutihan ng tao. It did not only provide jobs. Now with the green environment around, natatamnan na ngayon. I still have my cautions though in terms of yung Red Sea. Medyo hindi na gaano yung Red Sea ngayon kasi pag nagta-transfer sila ng red ore into those barges, the sea turns red yung sa shore. But now that there is less of that because I think there's more of technology now being employed. There has been also a lot of consciousness on the part of our own people there na talagang protect our environment.
Okay.
That's what I can say.
Maganda yun na banggit nyo, no? Pero siguro babalikan ko lang yung enforcement. Mr. Undersecretary Jim Sampulna, sa inyong trabaho sa enforcement, what have you noticed? Are mining companies compliant with your standards?
So far kasi bago pa ako dito sa DNR, sa taas, yung napuntahan ko ng mga mining company naman, katulad ng sabi ni Sister kanina, nag-iba na ngayon ang kwan dahil dati-dati ang mga mining company natin is after exploiting, iniiwan na lang. Ngayon, sigurado na tayo meron silang pang-rehabilitate dahil meron na silang rehabilitation fund. So, ngayon, nakatutok tayo, karamihan ng mga mining company ngayon, ang ginagamit nilang rehabilitation ngayon ay yung Bembo. No? They are compliant actually. Hindi naman pwedeng pagkatapos natin ng pagbubungkal ng lupa na yan, i-rehabilitate natin. We have to come out first with the output. Pagkatapos sila yun, nagre-rehabilitate naman yung mga ating mining company.
Yeah.
So far, yes.
Good. Mabuti po kung ganun. Kung yung addict na, nare-rehabilitate, yung pa kayang pinagminahan, ano?
In fact, Melo, nagre-reklamo na yung mga mining company dahil yung Bembo daw, maraming ahas. Sabi ko, yan ang maganda dahil ibig sabihin ng biodiversity ay bumabalik na sa ating kapaligiran.
Very good. Very encouraging, ano? We have with us si Scarlett Gwen Facsoy coming all the way from Benguet. Magandang umaga sa iyo. Hello. Scarlett.
Okay, so hi, good morning everyone. Thank you, Sir Melo, for having Yaman Philippines on your screen.
Yeah, tell us about Yaman Philippines. What is it?
Yaman Philippines is actually a youth organization. It actually aims to lead the transformation of youth for the promotion of responsible mining and protection of natural resources. So we are actually in partner with PMSEA, wherein we promote the Pusong Minero, aiming to promote the uniting all people who supports the mining industry under one banner. We want to show that the good side of the mining industry. Right now, what's happening in social media, in the digital world right now, with the tap of a hand, we can search the right information with only a few taps. And what we are aiming for is to negate the proliferation of the black propaganda right now na natatabunan kasi yung mga good news about mining ngayon. Yung parang kapag naririnig nila yung mining, parang sinasabi nila ay mali ang mining or dapat itigil na lahat ng pagmimina. Pero hindi nila alam yung mga advantages and mga tulong talaga ng mga mining companies. At yun yung aim ng Yaman organization, to promote these good things about the mineral industry.
Yeah, very good. Congratulations. Maganda yan ang ginagawa ninyo sapagkat at least merong platform to inform the general public of what's going on. Maganda yan. That will encourage more discussions. All right. Sister Rosan, sino yung sabi mong dean na kasama ninyo ngayon?
Si Engineer Gilalas. He is now in his desk. Engineer Gilalas is the dean of mining engineering, and mining engineering is under him. Angelus, are you there yet?
Yeah, I see him here. Ano yung karaniwang motivation ng mga bata? Bakit sila pumapasok sa mining education? Dean?
Yes. Yes, good morning, Sir Melo. Good morning po sa lahat. I think po yung isa sa mga motivation po ng mga bata to enroll in this mining engineering is aside from the grants na binibigay po ng mga mining companies, from different mining companies, one talaga is gusto silang makatulong po sa community nila. Aside from siguro primarily concern po nila is yung mga family nila, kasi lahat po naman ng halos po ng mga scholars po ng mining company is hindi naman po talagang mayayaman ng mga students. So isa sa yan is yung family. Then yung pangalawa po is yung makatulong po sa pag-develop po na sinasabi natin na responsible mining. In fact, idagdag ko lang po sa mga na sinabi po ni Sister, isa po dyan na pwede, makikita natin na po sa responsible mining is that there is an active collaboration of the mining companies from different mining companies in the academy in doing research. So isa po sa mga ito is like for example like yung dust suppressions. So kasi alikabok. So isa po yan sa mga ginagawa ng mga students namin, yung mga phytoremediation researches. So yan, siguro yan po yung nagiging motivation nila. So yan po.
Maganda yun. Pero yung mga estudyante nyo, alin ang mas marami? Babae, lalaki?
For mining, ay, marami pong lalaki po. Kunti lang po yung mga babae.
Pero may mga babae na rin.
Yes. Different po noon kasi pag sinabi nating engineering, kunti lang po yung mga babae. Now, I think mga almost half of the population, I think mga 1/4 siguro or almost half is mga babae po.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Ron, would you care to react yung mga research na ginagawa ng mga estudyante? How can the Chamber of Mines and then later on sa PIMSEA, how can you support such researches?
Ay, magandang tanong, Camelo. No, ibalita ko rin lang sa lahat ng mga nanonood. We in the chamber are currently working with PSHERD, the Innovation Commission ng DOST. No? The DOST actually has a program called Cradle where pinagmamatch niya yung industry at research. No? So halimbawa, ang isang industry like mining has a unique technical problem, minamatch ni DOST yung kumpanya with a researcher who can now find a solution for the mining company. Tapos ang pondo nanggagaling sa DOST significantly, no? So katulad nga ng nasabi ni Dean kanina, pinakamalaking problema ng mga mining industries, ng mining companies ngayon ay siltation, water quality maintenance, air pollution,
yung alikabok.
Alikabok, no? So si DOST, ang nagawa niya for us ngayon ay napag-match niya kami with these research institutions tulad ng St. Paul at ng Southern Philippines, the University of Southern Philippines, even the University of the Philippines in Los Baños, na karamihan ng mga researchers nila at scientifico ay bihasa sa area ng siltation, dust suppression, erosion control, at saka biodiversity. No? So napakagandang development. This year, I think 2 kumpanya ang na-match namin with their respective research institutions. And we hope to progress this further dahil marami pang areas where we can collaborate tulad ng improving productivity. There is a proposal now to equip all miners with RFID chips para ma-measure mo ang kanilang productivity. There is a proposal now to use drones para alam mo kung at any given instance kung nasaan ang iyong mga truck in the field. No? So wala kang nasasayang na oras sa paghahanap. Nasaan na ba yung truck ko? Paano ang turnaround? Gaano kabilis ang delivery? Etc. So these are technical problems that require a technical solution, and it's a great partnership, I have to say.
Very encouraging. Engineer Luis Sarmiento, you're the Corporate Secretary of PIMSEA at the same time with Apex Mining. How do you look at this collaboration between the academe and the industry?
Camelo, it's good that nandyan si Scarlett, no, representing Yaman Philippines. If you remember, we started with the Student Congress way back in 2015. Precisely, the objective is also to uplift the situation of the students and make sure that they will be ready when with the new technology coming in for the mining industry. So tuloy-tuloy po yon. Now they call it Yaman Philippines, yung mga mining companies are into it already in terms of technology. Especially with this pandemic, sabi ko nga po, mining companies had to rethink yung kanilang operating models on how to observe itong mga protocols. So, for example, in terms of technology, we're already partnering with universities. In the case of Apex, we have a memorandum of agreement with the University of Southern Philippines. Ito po yung host namin na university sa Davao that we go through research and development, and we provide all the technology and the softwares for the students to use. At the same time, ito pong mga mining companies, Apex for example, is also looking at the technology in terms of yung mga remote operations ng mga bagong technology like yung drone, yung mga monitoring ng mga equipments underground, we're already into it. So yun po, tuloy-tuloy. And again, this is where the students comes in. This is where the millennials comes in because they're very good at this yung technology. They're very good at using computers and programs. So if you look at the demography ng mining industry, it's either yung nasa top mga above 60s and then very few dun sa middle management, and doon sa baba ito na yung ating mga millennials. That's why ang trust of the PMCA was really to support the students so that by the time they graduate, they will be ready with the technology, with the conditions that they will expect in the mines. And I'm happy to report that even in Apex, we employ a lot of mining geologists, metallurgical engineers na babae, and they're really performing very, very well.
Okay, very encouraging. Let me pose this question to Dr. Pamintuan at kay Joey at kay Attorney Mocano. Yung po bang tungkol sa technology, how has technology evolved and assisted the mining industry, particularly exploration and the like? Gabi? How has technology evolved?
Yeah, maybe I'll start with actually yung modern mining technology was brought to us or introduced to us by the Americans. Remember, Baguio grew out of the mines, pero yung mga naunang, mga pioneers dyan, mga Amerikano eh. So eventually na kumalat na yan from pumunta ng Visayas, Mindanao. Pero in terms of technology, sabi ko nga, Philippine mining, especially the big ones, are modern, world-class yan, mga ISO certified lahat yan. In fact, nangunguna pa nga yung mga mining companies in terms of programs like sustainability beyond ISO. Sabi na natin beyond ISO eh. So may mga sustainability planning, mapping, and so on. So hindi lang doon sa technology mismo, but how you measure yung performance ng technology. So ISO is actually just documenting everything that you do.
Yes,
pero yun na nga, karamihan or halos lahat nag-ISO na, and sabi ko nga beyond ISO pa yan because when you're already talking about sustainability, mapping, and planning, andun ka na sa andun ka na sa abanteng yung mga nauuna sa in terms of world standards.
Yeah.
So sabi ko we're modern, we're world class.
Good.
Especially the big ones.
The big ones.
Because the small scale is another animal or story.
I like your term, huh? Joey, your thoughts about technology and its influence in exploration. Yes, please.
Yeah, well, technology has really contributed to exploration. Like a lot of people now do remote sensing, so they can limit the areas wherein they want to start exploring. So madali na. Instead of looking at a bigger area, you have a reduced area to look at kasi remote sensing has signatures of mineralization which they have studied through the years. Safety concerns sa mga tao natin sa field because we now have cell phones, we now have other tracking gadgets so we can track them, and even our medical facilities so we can easily help if an accident happens in the field.
Mm-hmm.
Computer software have helped prepare mine plans. Unlike before na talagang mano-mano. So the old mining engineers would know of that. So what else? Drilling. So we have more deeper drilling capacity, biodegradable muds and fluids. So environmentally friendly. So all of these things have contributed to help exploration and mining actually a lot better compared to the old times. No?
Yeah, the old times. Yeah, Director Fred Moncano, please, your thoughts about technology and the industry. Sandali po. Yeah, paki-unmute muna. Oops, yan.
Yes, technology has really evolved, no, and contributed to the modernization of the mining industry. And as far as I'm also a mining engineer, no, being aside from being a lawyer, I'm also a mining engineer. Noong kapanahunan namin, if we compute for area, kailangan namin ng pantograph at yung mga instrument na mano-mano talaga. Pero ngayon, computer na, bibilis, no? I have to admit, hindi ko na masundan yung aming mga millennials, hindi ko na masundan yung paano nila kinumpute, no? May mga three-dimensional na sila, mga features ng computer. Madali na mag-compute ng mga reserve, paano mag-compute ng mga resources, no? So technology has helped. And also in the fairly recent period, siguro mga last 30-20 years, no, itong mga other mineral commodities na nasa ating mga mineral resources like sa nickel, for example, wala noong una, mga 1930s, 1940s, hindi pa na-discover yung mga rare earth minerals eh. Very valuable yung mga minerals na yun, but because of technology, andyan na-discover na yan, at it's being used, very useful for the aerospace, para sa mga electric vehicles. No? So technology has helped a lot. But sa amin naman, in the part of MGB, meron naman kami collaboration also with the UST because ang aming gustong tutukan for the Philippines especially, isa tayo sa mga mineralized country that do not have an integrated steel industry, no? Integrated steel mills, wala tayo eh. Nasimula nito yung 1970s ni President Marcos pero nawala. So yan ang focus namin ng aming programa, exploration ng mga strategic minerals to establish the integrated the steel industry of the country. So nagko-collaborate kami with the Department of Science and Technology para maka-recommend ng mga technology that is medyo bago at pwedeng ma-adapt ng ating mga nasa minahan ngayon because we have a lot of material na pwedeng fuel o feed doon sa mga planta na ito, no. So like sa norte meron tayong mga magnetite na marami, sa Leyte marami tayo. So we're focusing on that, no? In collaboration with the Department of Science and Technology.
Very good. Let me pose this question to anybody who can answer. Si Malu Mariano is watching us from the United States. In case of mining accidents, are the companies adequately trained to address mining collapses and attend to trapped miners? I need a volunteer from the panel. Can PIMSEA or Chamber of Mines lead in answering? Yes, Kalui.
Camilo, as you know, yung ating PMSEA hold an annual event sa Baguio. This is like a mini Olympics for the mining industry. Precisely because yung mga teams would like to gauge their skill and capability with other teams as part of their readiness. Kasi ginagawa naman nila to on a regular basis sa kanilang mga kanya-kanyang sites. But this is a gauge of how they perform and how they react to certain emergency situations. So tuloy-tuloy po yun. And in terms of capability, and in terms of additional and modern equipments available now, so talagang very capable ang ating mga search and rescue teams of each responsible mining companies to respond to any emergencies. Kaya nga po at times na nire-request pa tayo dun sa ibang mga lugar, sa mga cities, especially during times when nagkakaroon ng earthquake and dun sa mga collapsed structures, because that's precisely the expertise of our search and rescue.
Okay. Gabi, Dr. Pamintuan, yes, please. You'd like to say something?
Yeah, Sir Melo, remember in one of your roundtables nung nasa saan ba tayo, somewhere in Ross Boulevard, when
Sa
we
Aristocrat.
talked about disaster preparedness.
Yes.
Nasabi kasi that the mining industry has trained around 10% of its manpower. It varies among companies, pero they are either mine rescuers, first aiders, firefighters, and so on. So any event, incident that happens within the mine or even outside, ready yung mga company para mag-respond.
Okay.
So,
At
nabanggit ko rin
least-
dati yung sa earthquake, big earthquake ng Baguio. Most of the rescuers then came from the mining companies.
Yeah. Ron Isidoro from Chamber of Mines, yes?
Oh, I would re-echo yung mga nasabi ni Doc Gab at saka ni Louie, ano. Mining companies prepare, talagang overly prepared for disaster kasi nga the nature of the work is already very dangerous, and we always have first aid teams on standby ready to assist and to rescue. That's very unique for the mining industry. In fact, sabi nga ni Louie, we have an annual event every year where mining companies showcase their readiness for any and all disasters that can happen at the mine. No, but when it comes to the larger accidents like dam failures and the like, I think that with recent technology at saka regulation na rin, mining companies are better prepared also to handle these events.
Okay. That's
So,
good.
so yun po.
Ron, ganun din kay Director Moncano at kay Yusek. Why is it that mining is always associated with Marinduque, with Mark Copper? Why is it? Why is it so?
Attorney,
I
ko na answer. No.
I would answer first, no. Let me trace back a few years, no. Actually, mga 50 years ago, no, 50 years ago, the Mining Act before that time do not contain provisions for mining companies to provide funds for mine rehabilitation, no. And walang provisions doon, unlike today na first year pa lang ng commercial extraction mo, you already pay on installment basis yung final mine rehabilitation decommissioning fund. So nung nangyari yung aksidente sa Mark Copper, hindi ito kaagad na address because yun nga who will provide funds, no. At hanggang ngayon, actually, the MGB provides fund every year para may mga rehabilitation measures kami magagawa, but it's not as big because alam mo naman yung pera sa gobyerno hindi gano'ng kalaki. So yun ang problema. So it remained a parang symbol nung tawagan namin nung sins of the past because yung mga ganitong mga insidente hindi na aksyonan at hindi na correct, no, because yun nga it was partly because there was no legislation before, and partly there was no requirement for mining companies to provide funds, and yung standard, we didn't have any standard for what will be like ngayon. Meron tayong standard for dam construction. It should be at least intensity 8 na mga earthquake yung ating ngayon standard, and meron tayong mga parameters na i-implement, no? So yun ang problema. Makikita pa kasi ngayon andiyan pa rin yung problema sa Mark Copper, hindi pa natin po completely na naayos, no? Kaya palagay ko yun ang rason bakit ma-relate nila ang mining industry to the Mark Copper failure.
Okay. Sister Rosan, coming from the church, no? What could be done to prevent such conditions?
Bantay talaga, vigilance. Melo, I must say, we cannot rest complacent. We have to be vigilant. At saka,
Yes, please.
Education. Kaya naniniwala talaga ako na continuous awareness building on the part of our people. Not only those who are in formal school, but the community at large. Talagang kailangan bantayan. Kasi although we say there's a lot of technology and all that, at saka yung openness din ng mining industry to dialogue with their community. I-explain sa kanila ano yung mga hazards, ano yung mga safety nets nila, yung mga ganun ba. So that the whole issue, if the industry is very transparent about what it's doing and it's really doing a lot of good for the community from how I look at it most of the time. So siguro we cannot rest complacent. The general public should always know what's going on. And that way, we can, we are dealing with intelligent people and people who can really make decisions. So, hindi natin pwedeng isatabi lang yon.
Okay, good. Undersecretary, your thoughts, please.
Yeah. Kaya sumikat masyado yung Marinduque na yan. I mean, Mark Cooper na yan yung sinasabi mo kanina. The director said it all, ano? Wala pa tayong mining rehabilitation fund. At saka di pa natin. Kaya siguro, yun ang pinakasikat na mining company before. Kaya lahat nakatutok lahat doon sa Mark Cooper. But anyway, going back to the readiness, ano, kanina tinanong mo kanina, when I was the regional executive director in Davao, nagkaroon ng landslide sa Pantukan Mining Company. And I was surprised that people from Baguio came in. Pumasok yung taga Baguio, taga other companies na tumulong doon sa Pantukan. So, I see, kung wala sila doon, walang marirecover na body doon during that landslide. These are mining sites na nagkaroon ng landslide. So, I think we are very much ready as far as itong natin sa mine safety is concerned.
Good. Very nice. May mga binanggit si Director Moncano kanina na napakahalaga yung steel industry. Liliwanagin ko yung steel industry na binabanggit niya, ang spelling STEEL, hindi STEAL. Iba yun. Malaki, pero magkasintunog. Pero magtungo tayo doon sa ating kasamang si Scarlett. Scarlett, sa Yaman, Philippines, what are you doing? What are your programs? May projects ba kayo ngayon?
Yes. Hello. Yes, we currently are planning this a donation drive. It is a project of the Yaman, Philippines entitled Pusong Minero para sa Bicolano. It is in collaboration with the Philippine Mine Safety and Environment Association. Our goal is to help families affected by Super Typhoon Rolly, which hit the Philippines last November 1. Ezekiel, one of our officers in Yaman, actually have a contact in Albay, that is Sir Owen, the advisor of the official high school publication of St. Agnes Academy in Legazpi City called the Agnesian. So Yaman, Philippines wants to help those who are heavily affected by the typhoon. So we thought, paano kaya kami makakatulong? Luckily, we were able to have a contact person for any donations. So maybe later we will be posting on our Facebook page, IG and Twitter, some account details of the donation drive, and we are encouraging everyone to help these people who are heavily affected by this typhoon. These families are actually those who lost their homes, mga natabunan ng laharang bahay, or their homes were destroyed by the strong wind and heavy rain. Tapos we were informed na talagang walang-wala sila, and their very very essential need is construction materials and the like for them to start over.
Good. Pero nabanggit mo yung nangyari sa Bicol. Alam ko, fresh from Legazpi City, si Director Wilfredo Moncano. Can you please update us? I know you did something there and you did something good for and on behalf of the Philippine government. Tell us more about this.
Yes, I was with Undersecretary Leonardo last week, starting Thursday up to Monday madaling araw. We were there. We had to organize 8 teams, 8 teams yon. It's team is composed of at least a geologist, a mining engineer, and PBOS is a member, DPWH is a member, LGU is a member, the DNR is a member, EMB is a member, no? So 8 team yung inorganize natin. We provided them with drone instruments para doon sa pag-survey ng area. And then itong mga we provided also logistic no sasakyan para sa pag-ikot nila at papunta doon sa mga lugar na natamaan ng lahar, no? And although it might be early for me to say, but meron na kaming theories what were the cause of the deaths and the damages doon, inundation ng mga bahay, no? Meron na kaming mga theory, but hindi ko muna sasabihin because merong administrative at criminal, baka lang may criminal side itong aming tinitingnan. So ayaw lang muna nating sasabihin, but we already did and continue. I think by up to Sunday this week matatapos yung field survey, field assessment, and then after that there will be report writing. Actually, the report will be provided and will be submitted to the Office of the President because Office of the President na nag-request na maimbestigahan yung nangyari doon, no? So, but malaking pinsala talaga. Yung mga dikes na supposedly to contain the materials na mag-flow from the Mayon volcano nasira yung mga dikes. And actually, nag-survey kami on Friday morning, meron kaming we advise DPWH, maraming tulay doon na threatened by the lahar flow also because napuno na yung tulay at abot na yung silt material doon sa flooring ng tulay, and one more baha, one more ulan ng malakas, baka pati yung tulay masisira. So in-advise namin yung DPWH na alisin na yung mga material na malapit doon sa tulay para hindi naman madama yung tulay at magiging inaccessible yung lugar, no? So yun ang natin, and continuing pa rin yung investigation. We hope na we can submit the report to the President next week.
Yeah, Director, without necessarily putting the cart before the horse, may commercial value ba yung lahar? Dahilan sa baka kailangan i-convert sa dolomite yan para mabenta, ano kaya?
Actually, yes, itong material, itong lahar na nag-flow doon, ito yung mga ginagamit doon sa construction diyan sa Bicol, sa Cebu. Maraming pinupuntahan itong mga lahar na yan. But unfortunately, yung demand, yung ang tawag ito, yung rate of extraction ng material hindi masapatan, yung pag-flow bigla ng like for one river channel, we estimated about 400,000 cubic meters ang biglang nahulog doon sa lugar. And ang demand ng aggregates doon sa Bicol is about 3-4 million cubic meters a year lang. So sa isang lugar lang mismo, hindi nila maubos-ubos lang. Sa isang baha lang yun, isang baha. Hindi nila maubos kahit isang taon nila bubunuin yun para malinis. So I don't know, malaking trabaho talaga. DPWH will have a lot of work. Kami we're thinking also of recommending relocation talaga ng mga bahay because may mga bahay na nandoon sa danger zone. So isa yun sa mga tinitingnan naming recommendation doon sa magiging report namin to the Office of the President.
Good. You know, Director, if I remember it right, it was in 1981, nagkaroon din ng lahar flow. At nakita pa sa pelikula yung nyog na dala-dala ng lahar. At ito nangyari sa Barangay Mabinit sa Legazpi City. Pero wala pa nagka-quarry noon. It could be really a phenomenon from Mayon Volcano na pag nagkaroon ng deposits, dadalhin yan pababa. Dadaus-dus yan pag tuloy-tuloy ang ulan. Siguro it's about time we look into a serious a recommendation to seriously relocate people.
Yes.
Para hindi na tayo magagastusan. And one thing is sure, we can also have something productive doon sa mga iiwanang lupa nitong ating mga kababayan. Magandang pag-usapan nito, Director. I'm sure hindi pwedeng gawing subdivision yan, kaya okay lang. Anyway, that's another issue. Let me ask the good Undersecretary. Undersecretary, last year po, nagkaroon ng Presidential Mineral Industry Environmental Award. Kasama rin dyan yung ating kaibigang si Joey Aison at yung Mines and Geosciences Bureau at iba pang mga grupo. Ano po ang balak ngayon? Dahil wala yata tayong awardee ngayong taong ito.
I think I have to refer that to the MGB kung anong kuha nila, anong mga balak na dyan dahil ito naman sa akin dito ino-oversee ko lang sila dyan sa, doon sa trabaho nila.
Okay, yeah. Well taken. Yeah. Director Moncano, please.
Yes, actually, the PMC board has a suggestion to continue with the evaluation of the mining companies para matuloy-tuloy yung ating annual awarding of yung mga best practices ng mga mining companies. So ang suggestion is yung virtual evaluation ng mga performance, accomplishment ng mining companies. No? The mining companies will submit yung mga proof ng kanilang mga ginawa, environmental practices, and then this will be there will be meetings that will be conducted by the evaluating team. Multi-sectoral din kasi, multi-agency kasi itong nag-evaluate ng yung mga awardees, and virtual na lang yung evaluation, no? But the mining companies will initiate through submissions of yung kanilang mga best practices na ginawa sa kanilang kanya-kanya mga minahan. So I think it may not be by November, baka ang tingin namin baka either first week next or evaluation this year, but yung awarding may not be this year, no? Baka January next year. But yung evaluation might proceed through virtual, virtual evaluation na yung gagawin sa mga ginawang activities ng mga minahan.
Okay, so at least meron pa rin tayong recognition. Engineer Sarmiento, please. Your view.
Camelo, in addition to sinabi ni Director, there were discussions already dun sa PIMEA to hold a meeting na nabanggit nga ni Director. At the same time, yung mga mining companies continues with the programs related to the PMA awards naman eh. So yung safety, yung social development, yung SDMP, tuloy-tuloy naman po yung ginagawa. So it's a matter of convening and organizing the assessment of the performance.
Okay, very reassuring. Joey, mula sa grupo ninyo?
Yeah, the PME is also a member of the selection committee for this award, so we're very supportive. In fact, we believe that the MGB is continuing their usual semestral or quarterly evaluation, and they have a very stringent checklist on assessing mining companies. They a lot more stringent than before. So compliance in tenements, environmental safety. So all of those records are with the MGB regional and central office. So that could be a good start because the assessment can only be seen from their regular evaluation of mining companies. It's also good to give credit or to give a pat on the back on the companies that are performing quite well despite COVID.
Okay, all right. So at least we can look forward to something to give credit to where credit is due. Sino yung gumawa ng assignment nila to keep the environment clean, to keep everything in order. Pero looking forward, I don't know whether the MGB or the good USEC would be able to share their views. I'm concerned about the small-scale mining. It has been mentioned that there's got to be a change in the laws governing mining. However, do we expect changes in the laws governing small-scale mining? Dahilan sa mukhang ito ay gatasan ng iba't ibang grupo. Sino kaya ang pwedeng sumagot? Si Director o si USEC? Dahil nasa enforcement si USEC. USEC, kayo na po.
Yeah, actually, yan din ang dilema namin sa DNR. Itong small scale mining, while we tax these large miners, itong parang medyo tax free sila.
Yun na nga.
Ang ginagawa na minsan dyan I will not mention some companies that they are no longer operating but they are using this small scale mining to do away with the taxes, It's either, alam mo, hindi naman tayo natutulog, alam natin yan. But I'm planning to call the attention of this company na hindi na nag-operate. Ang pinapa-operate niya yung mga small-scale miners. Anyway, siguro dapat nga tutukan natin itong small-scale mining ito because they are earning as much as the big companies. Although hindi
Probably bigger.
Yeah, they are earning. Sabi nga ng news dyan diwalwal daw, isang 100 kilos of kwan daw. Sabi ko, pinuntahan naman namin ni Director Moncano, wala naman magsalita. Everybody is not talking doon sa diwalwal. But anyway, I think tama po kayo, Mang Melo, and dapat tutukan ng gobyerno nitong small-scale mining nito dahil nagiging kwan na nito, sindikato nila labas niyan.
Aha. Thank you very much. Maganda po at tututukan natin kung ano magaganap. Director Moncano, from your end sa Mines and Geosciences Bureau.
Thank you, Melo. No? For the information lang of everyone, si Senator Bongo has initiated ng legislative support for the amendments of some provisions of the small-scale mining law dahil yung ating small-scale mining law 1991 pa yan, so that's about 30 years ago, no? And there are provisions in the small-scale mining law that needs to be revised to be attuned with the current times, no? For example, yung concept talaga ng small-scale mining law before was talagang small-scale artisanal, mano-mano, manual labor talaga. But in reality now, ngayon, halos hindi ka na makakita ng nagmano-mano talaga doon sa pagmimina, no? Like sa gold, hindi na. For some reasons, makakapusplit pa rin sila ng exclusive para sa development ng kanilang minahan, no? So isa yan, we're crafting, the MGB actually is drafting yung proposed amendment of the small-scale mining law. We're proposing two levels. Actually, hindi naman levels. Ang two definitions ng small-scale mining. One that includes yung small-scale mining with regulated use of exclusive, and the other one, yung talagang family-oriented lang na talagang pang-small-scale. No? So, yan ang tinitingnan namin. We're looking at some provisions na in the old small-scale mining law, limited lang to 6 years yung period ng small-scale mining. Right now, we're looking at renewal lang, continue lang renewal hanggang sa meron pang reserve na naiwan doon sa minahan, no? And then yun nga nabanggit ko sa old small-scale mining law, there is no provision that mandates small-scale mining companies to provide funds for environmental protection and safety. So dito natin sabi proposal na namin yan, kahit paano maliliit yung environmental protection, meron pa rin for some ipag-aggregate mo sa isang minahan, no? Minahang bayan, i-aggregate mo yung lahat ng operation, malaki na rin yung magiging negative impact noon sa environment. So kailangan lahat ng mag-operate doon, meron pa rin contribution. I don't know kung in terms of per ton production ba magiging contribution nila or meron fixed amount, di pa namin additional, but definitely we will require small-scale mining operators to contribute funds for the environmental protection and for safety also.
Okay. All right. We're about to wind up our discussions today. Scarlett, ano ang mensahe mo sa mga kabataan natin ngayon sa Yaman PH? Ano pang gagawin ninyo? Please go ahead.
Oh, wow. Thank you for the opportunity, Sir Camelo. So for now, what I'm going to say to the youth is that they should be a little bit more open-minded kasi right now, we are trying as much as possible not to be harsh in responding to anyone that is trying to trying to drive a black propaganda against the mining companies, the mineral industry. So we are actually trying to try as much as possible to respond with kindness. So my advice to the youth is that in this digital world where we can distinguish the right information, the facts from the false information, let's have that drive or let's have that initiative to see those facts before we go into judgment about what is happening to the mineral industry. Okay. And also to Yaman Philippines, I would also encourage them to do the same.
Okay, very well. Sister Rosan, please. Mula
Yes,
sa OBG.
Melo. I would mabuti na banggit nyo yung small scale, Melo, kasi mula noong pa nung nasa CBCP ako, yun ang hinahabol namin kasi talagang they can really be a threat to the environment the way they do their thing. And the irony of it, kababayan natin yung mga yan. Kasi talagang hindi kaya na mag-put up talaga ng malaking kapital para sa rehab, and they do their thing very So sabi ko nga, yun, as usual, coming from the education sector, we would like to strengthen first and foremost our own capabilities, our competencies to really exercise responsible stewardship over the gifts of God, particularly sa mining. And we are very focused on this, not only with our mining engineers here, those are engaged in mining, but the whole population. The whole school is always on symposia, etc., to raise awareness on the need to be responsible stewards. Yun lang, Milo.
Okay.
Thank you.
Salamat, Sister. Yes, Dr. Gabby Pamintuan, please.
Yeah, two things. Number one, yung laging nababanggit kasi yung drone kanina. So, siguro sabihin ko na lang, hindi nabanggit na yung MGB has drones sa lahat ng mga regional offices nila. Similarly, all the big mining companies have their own drones. So yung monitoring, especially after a weather disturbance, na yan, parang normal na yan. So the second one is we're just winding down with the second group of companies. I hope Director Mukano will forgive me for this, no? Kasi katatapos naming ni-review yung 17 big mines. Ito yung nasa sinasabi nating MICC review of mines kasi we did the first 26 like 2018. So sinunod namin yung 17, ito na yung second batch. So patapos na kami, and I think one of the most important findings actually has something to do with SDMP rin and information, education, communication. In fact, hindi yata nabanggit kanina na yung funds for SDMP have been categorized into host and neighboring communities development. Tapos IEC, so 75% will go to the first one, 15% yata sa information, education, communication. And the third one is equally important, nabanggit din ito kanina, yung development of mining technology and geosciences. So halos covered na ng law lahat yung mga napapag-usapan natin. It's just seeing that it is implemented para ma-maximize yung benefits out of it. So yung results ng MICC2, malapit na rin lumabas.
Okay. Parang comics, abangan ang susunod na kabanata.
Yes.
Yes. Joey Aison, please.
Yeah, thanks, Melo. Maybe I should say something for the industry to really move forward. No? And
please
imagine if Oceana Gold is allowed to resume operations. Imagine if Silangan, Tampakan, and King are in operations. So that would be a big boost to the economy, to the revenues of the Philippines. And to do this, you must have certain policy changes, like maybe EO 79 has to be looked into again, the open pit ban, the national laws versus the local laws, and even the NCIP and the DNR MGB relationship. So how can we get indigenous people's consent? All those things should be looked into, and at the same time, all mining companies should do what they said, responsible mining. But we know that the government is doing its part to support the industry, but I think we just need a little bit more push right now, considering there are certain policies that maybe need to be revised or looked at.
Yeah. Siguro, Joey, sa susunod nating discussions, we can...
That's it. Thank you, Melo, for the opportunity.
Yeah, siguro sa susunod na discussion, we can also invite NCIP para mapag-usapan sino ba talaga yung indigenous. Dahil sa merong mga nababalita na indigenous kuno at nagogoyo yung mga kumpanya into giving something, pero pag naibigay na, nawawala na, natutunaw na. Siguro maganda pag-usapan yan. Then we'll
I think the NCIP, we should really put NCIP to the picture because most of the areas in the Philippines are under ancestral domain.
Yeah.
And one more thing, I think they should also revisit the no-go zone. There's a no-go zone map where you cannot go mining or exploration. So, and that covers, I think, most of the Philippines. So that has to be revisited also.
Oh, really? Do they have plans to put up subdivisions there? There's another thing. Okay. Maganda pag-usapan yan. Engineer Luis Sarmiento, ano po ang gagawin natin? Meron pagpupulong yata sa susunod na linggo, pag-uusapan yung environmental awards and the like, no? Please go ahead.
Camelo, alam niyo po, the first wave of this pandemic na-survive ng mga mining companies. So what is next in the new normal? We talk about the new normal, but the mining industry will continue to be not only the responsible but also a sustainable partner of the government in terms of providing economic benefits not only to the country but to the communities. So ang mga mining company po had to survive this pandemic. This will not go away this year. This will not go away next year. So we have to be prepared. We have to review yung ating operating models. Ano yung ginawa natin in respond dun sa initial wave? What are we going to do next? That's why the trust now is for us to really strengthen our safety and health protocols. Ang priority po natin is health right now. Secondary na yung business, no? Because if you don't have the people, if you don't have the community that is healthy and safe, hindi ka rin makaka-operate. So we might as well take this opportunity with the resources that we have, with the opportunity that we have, to make sure that we help strengthen yung ating pong protocols sa safety and health. Nagkaroon na po ng mga issue before sa Benguet and sa other mining communities. It's a hard lesson to learn, but we all should learn from it and rise from it positively. At the same time, we also have the community to think about. Ito pong ating perennial issue about small scale. Nabanggit po natin to, and I'm glad Sister Rosan mentioned that these are also people. Yes, these are also people that like to earn livelihood, decent livelihood. Yung pong kami po, ang model namin ditong ginagamit ngayon is yung ating pong big brother, small brother concept na tinutulungan po natin itong mga small scale miners by giving them contracts, providing them with the safety gears to make sure that their operation is safe and efficient. So yun po, pati po yung ating mga youth, ito pong ating mga nagtatrabaho sa minahan, yung mga operators, yung ating pong mga employees, we're putting up a technical schools during this pandemic. We did the opportunity to train them in heavy equipment operations. Ito pong ating mga bata ng mga engineers, they also were also given the opportunity to get trained, and not only to get trained but also to get coached by yung mga ating mga senior personnel, so that they will also learn from the experiences of these managers that they can be able to be prepared to succeed in the next coming years. So the industry will get to new heights, Camelo, and as long as we take this time to really strengthen our safety and health protocols, I'm sure all the companies will be able to survive this.
Good. Yeah, thank you very much. Good morning kay EJ Oiragas, kay Mitch Luxin, George Pimentel, Thea Luis Dumalaog, Lynette Hilbano, kay Lynn Kumar, Engelbert Garcia, Mark Paringit, Vincent Dalin, si Gib Tid, Michael Brent Akyangan, si Jenke, si Mikey, Lynn Cappuccino, ganun din ating kaibigang si Danilo Rodriguez. I'd like to say thank you to all of them at dun sa iba pa nating mga nanonood on Facebook. Attorney Ron Residoro, from the Chamber of Mines, what will it be in the coming days?
When you consider recent policy movements and developments, we in the Chamber of Mines remain cautiously optimistic. We feel that there will be positive developments for the mining industry in the near future, given this pandemic and all that. I-re-echo ko lang yung sinabi ni Yusek Sampul na kanina, the Philippines truly is blessed with mineral wealth. And we are like a poor man sitting on a pot of gold. And the mining industry has a very good potential to contribute to Philippine recovery post-COVID. MGB estimates that we have trillions of pesos of mineral resource trapped underground. So hindi lang baraha ang mining industry, baka ito na ang alas ng gobyerno to help us recover from COVID-19. So we need to revive the mining industry, definitely, but we need to do it right. And I think, given recent developments, I think we are on the right track. 10 taon na po yung moratorium on new mining permits. There have been no new mining agreements signed since 2010. But since 2010, ang mining industry po has been in a preparation phase. Inayos namin mabuti lahat ng kapasidad ng mining industry. In-improve natin ang fiscal transparency ng mining companies. Inangat natin ang technical proficiency. Tinaas natin ang standards. Lahat ngayon ng mining companies ay ISO 14001 compliant. Marami na tayong standards na sinusunod. Pangatlo, inayos natin ang environmental protection. Lahat ng mining companies ngayon, napakalaki na itinanim na hektarya ng puno. At ngayon nga, we are also going into bamboo. Napakagandang engagement with TTI. Pangapat, inayos din natin ang ating social development and management programs. Mas responsive na siya ngayon sa pangangailangan ng ating mga host communities. Kung dati waiting shed, pailaw, patubig lang, ngayon marami ng proyektong naiisip ang ating mga communities. At, ang isang malaking learning ng mining company since 2010 ay kailangan i-engage natin ang ating mga communities. Hindi na pwede yung porque may permit ka, you can operate with impunity. Our learning is you have to engage with your community. Keep them in the loop, keep them informed para lahat tayo nakikinabang sa ating God-given mineral wealth. Tama si sister and I appreciate their presence. An aware and engaged civil society keeps mining companies and the government on their toes. Wala nang complacent na mining company ngayon dahil maliit na lang ang mundo Lahat ng pinakamaliit na pagkakamali mo na ma-magnify on social media. So we are cleaner than Caesar's wife. Sobrang ingat namin ngayon at talagang pinagbubutihan namin ang aming operations. At yan ay in large part because of the vigilance of civil society also. So yun po, we remain cautiously optimistic.
Great.
Salamat, Carmelo.
Okay, thank you. Director Fred Moncano, please, your thoughts. By the way, meron nga palang seminar tungkol sa PIMEA next Tuesday, no? I hope you can join us. I'll be the moderator again. Yes.
Yes, thank you, Melo. I share the same sentiment and yung position doon sa of the industry for the economy's recovery. Actually, for DNR, we're looking at 13 subsectors that can help in the economy, recovery of the economy. I just mentioned, we will be supporting continuously the existing currently metallic. We will be targeting new approval of new MPSA, assuming that the MICC and will support the lifting of amendment of Section 4 of EO 79. Then we would like the suspended mines to resume operations. We have targeted the Minahang Bayan sector for the legalization. And then we have identified lahar sand and in Bicol and in Zambales to be productive also and commercially can help in the economy. And then we have river restoration program, DNR river restoration programs in major rivers of the country that can also contribute economically, because the material that can be removed from these rivers to restore this ones to its own capacities will be commercially disposed, no? So makatulong din ito. And then we for the long term we have offshore and seabed quarrying, no? So that's one of the targets. And then we want to optimize the Diwalwal mineral reservation and Nabok River restoration. And then renewal of yung mga pending na mga MPSAs and FTA. One of that is yung si Oceana, nasa Office of the President pa. And then we have the secretaries recommended to the Office of the President 2 additional FTAs. And then we're also targeting yung proposal for the development of yung mga iron deposit na natin, magnetite, yung PBD mineral reservation. And of course, yung binanggit ni Secretary Dominguez, yung privatization of PMDC, PMO mining assets. No? So, yan yung mga targets natin na makatulong doon sa recovery ng ating economy. Of course, meron pa mga challenges. No? Yun na nga, nabanggit ko na kanina, yung EO 79 still has to be amended. And then we have also to, ang magiging kasi dito, programa kasi dito, we still have to present this one to the Cabinet Assistance System para mabit yung ating proposal to the President para makita nila at madesisyonan kung it's appropriate for presentation to the Cabinet. But that's the direction. We will be presenting these programs para makita na there are several sectors of the mining industry that can help in the recovery of the economy. Thank you.
Okay, sa 24 pala yung event natin on a Tuesday. May tanong dito, I don't know. I am Attorney Arnel Valena, Council for Action, an NGO advocating consumer rights and environmental protection. I have a question for all the panelists regarding the FCF Mineral Corporation Rano Gold Project within the Magat watershed, where mining is prohibited. How come this is being allowed when Magat is a declared protected area under the laws where mining is prohibited? I'm not aware of any law on the contrary. Pakisuyo nga po, Director Moncano, please.
Yes, actually we received that letter complaint to the Secretary Sibato actually, and endorsed to the MGB. And I recall that we measured the distance between the watershed and that FCF Ronrono area, no? And initially we measured 60 kilometers, but that was wrong. Wrong yung unang measurement. It's actually 6 kilometers, no? And it has been corrected. And one of the requirement before any application can be processed, no? Before it can be processed is yung mga area clearances, no? Area clearances from the different sector na DNR, BMB, Land Management Bureau, Forest Management Bureau, and the other bureaus. And this mining company secured these clearances. So meaning the agencies that is concerned with those implementation of laws na kanilang mandate have given that clearance. So the role naman of MGB, once these clearances are issued, well, we have to process this application. So all the clearances required for any applications were issued were secured by the mining company. That's why this FTA was approved. No, so I think yung watershed issue can be because we have checked our records. It's not really within. Although malapit siya, but it's not within. No, based on the technical descriptions of that of the area.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Attorney Arnel. We're pressed for time. I know your concerns. Titingnan natin kung ano pong pwede magawa. Mr. Undersecretary, ano pong mensahe ninyo sa ating mga kasama, sa ating mga taga-subaybay from all over the world watching on Facebook Live? Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Melo. Actually, during our last conference with the mining industry, I told them that the mining industry is doing fine and they're in perfect shape. However, ang problema natin, tayo lang nakakalam ng ginagawa natin ng magaganda. Hindi na nalaman ng mga tao yung ginagawa ng ating mga kumpanya na magaganda. So sabi ko, let's improve our IEC dahil ang IEC natin is with the DNR lang at saka yung kumpanya. Well, dapat yan malaman ng community yan, not only the shortest community but social media natin should know also ay mga tao natin ang ating mining industry is doing fine and they are compliant to the mandate of the law. So sana yan na i-improve natin.
Okay, thank you very much. Yusek, sabi ng mga kaibigan ko, kailangan ka namin dun sa webinar on Mineral Industry Awards on the 24th. Join us. Maganda pa pag-uusapan natin doon. I'd like to say thank you to everyone who took time out to be with us. Kasama natin si Scarlett Gwen Facsoy, si Sister Rosan, si Dr. Gabby Pamintuan Jr., si Joey Nelson Aison, narito rin po naman si Engineer Luis Sarmiento, si Attorney Ronnie Residoro, at si Director Wilfredo Moncano at si Yusek Jim Sampulna. Ito po si Melo Acuña, nagpapasalamat. Thank you rin kay Dean mula sa St. Paul's, no? Sa Surigao, kay Angelus Vincent. Thank you very much for being with us. Sa lahat ng mga kapatid natin sa media who took time out to be with us, please remember, we're just stewards of this world. Ito ang ating isasalin sa mga susunod na saling lahi, pangalagaan natin. Thank you very much. God bless us all. Till next time. Thank you.